च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Thank you, Swapnaji, for your introduction, and hearty welcome to you all, friends. A very warm welcome. Yeah, this is very not a hot welcome also. And once again, it is nice to be here with you. And today, it is very special because we will be discussing a very important spiritual practice, which is known as bhakti or devotion. And what could be a grand beginning that you sang this Ramakrishna Sharanam. Actually, he is the epitome of devotion to God. And you know, he was the worshipper of Mother Kali, and that is the maximum or the highest excellence of what the divine love could be. So Sri Ramakrishna's life is a saga of devotion, but there is a difference. Difference is that in traditional devotion, there are a few ideas of establishing relation with God, like Sakhya, Dasya, Shanta, Madhur, Vatsalya. In this special relation between God and us, that is Vatsalya, that generally we, in traditional way, we think that God is a child. Therefore, in India, you will see that when there is a temple, then the temple requires an agent to run it, because the agent means a human being becomes the guardian of that God who is installed there. So that is the law there. So God is a child, so one has to take care of God. And so we become the guardian and God becomes our child. But in the case of Sri Ramakrishna's bhakti, it just reversed. We became children of God and God became our father, mother. And here, most importantly, we see that Sri Ramakrishna recognized divinity in the form of mother. That is the highest manifestation of the creation. That is the source of creation. Creation source is always, it is rational to call a source a mother. And in all religions, I think it used to be the same until the advent of men folks taking part in combats and fightings. And then the Greek and the Romans, they slowly removed the male god from their scheme and a female god from their scheme. Well, Sri Ramakrishna actually rationalized the concept of bhakti, rationalized. It should not be an exuberant expression of our emotions. Our emotions actually is a very complicated one, and depending on different emotions, we behave in different ways. That is why Sri Ramakrishna rationalized it, saying that in Kali Yuga, for the people living in Kali Yuga, Naradiya Bhakti. Naradiya Bhakti, as we said yesterday, that there is the concept of understanding the ideal or the goal, and then reshaping our life according to that goal. Naradiya Bhakti is that. We are going to know God. Now, Sri Krishna is so generous in defining God himself. Sri Krishna, in the Gita, you will see, in very interesting ways, Sri Krishna says that Chaturvidha bhajanti mang jana sukritino Arjuna. Arto, Jignasur, Artharthi Jnani cha Bharatarsava. He says that there are 4 ways that my devotees approach me. Those who are Sukrita. Sukrita means those who are competent and those who want to achieve or reach me. So Chaturvida, there are 4 ways that God can be approached, and those are the ways my devotees try to approach me. Artho, those who are afflicted, they want something from me. Jignasu, those who inquire about the idea of whether there is a God or not. Artharthi, those who want something, some kind of relief from their suffering, some money, anything, even artha, for the sake of money. And Jnanicha, and also those who want to inquire into the very nature of God. So that is the idea of Narada Bhakti, that Narada inquires into the very nature of God, and he is also a devotee. He is also a devotee. So Sri Krishna is very, very generous to accept those who are following the path of Jnanam, those who want to know the very nature of God, and while investigating into that, inquiring into that, we really find that God is non-different from our own being. God includes us also. So this is the idea of bhakti Sri Ramakrishna wanted to recommend for the people who live in the Kali Yuga. So that is the very interesting point here that we will be dwelling on. And when I would be talking about the bhakti of Vyasa, that is actually the bhakti what is explained or propagated in the Bhagavatam. We will come to that later. But let us in general understand what bhakti is and give some very clear ideas about what bhakti should be for us. So first that I would accept the definition of Narada, because that is the universal definition of bhakti, and Sri Ramakrishna approves that definition. The definition is that he says, Narada says, sa means that bhakti. Bhakti is in feminine gender in Sanskrit. Sa tu asmin, that bhakti is in this, in God. Parama prema rupa is the form of divine love, the extreme love, ultimate love, complete love, like that. This is a love, as I have said, that it is prema, not kama. We will come to that later. So sa tu asmin, that bhakti which we are talking about, it is a kind of complete love for God. So what is this love? Prema, as we saw yesterday, and also this is clearly differentiated by Chaitanya Deva. He said that when we are asking for a love for our selfish purposes, that is called kama, or selfish desire, or even lust. And prema is that which is meant for love, which is meant for God. Our love for God, that is what is called prema. So Swami Vivekananda has said that love should be a verb always, then it is a divine love. In human love, what we do, for us, the love is a noun. We want love as if it is a noun we can buy from the supermarket. We pay for it and you give that love. 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units. Love is like that. In most of the cases, love is like that. I would love you when I am assured that you too will love me. And the measure will be like that. If you suppose love has a unit which is called lo, L-O, lo. I don't know what is the unit for love, but suppose I define it as lo. So if you give 10 lo to me, I will give 10 lo to you. Giving and taking. This here love is actually noun. And when you make love a noun, it becomes a selfish idea, and then it is called karma. This is not the love here our Narada is talking about. He is talking about love which is a verb. Swami Vivekananda has said like that. It is a verb. We want to love. There is a nice story in one of the books of psychology. It is the part of transactional psychology. There is a nice book that the games people play by Eric Berne. So he is a psychiatrist, and then he is talking about this love. He narrates one incident where the couple come to him separately, and everyone is saying that I want to love, but she does not love me. She says, I want to love, but he does not love me. And then the answer to both of them, answer of the psychiatrist to both of them was, still you love. Till the end, these people did not understand. Then he said, make it a verb. Do not expect it, just love, then it will be reciprocated. It may take time, but you will see that it will be reciprocated, because that is the tremendous effect of this word love. If you love an animal, a ferocious animal, that animal is tamed. And in front of you, that an animal will shun its violence. That has been proved time and again by Yoga Sutras, that when someone is established in ahimsa, in front of that person, even wild, ferocious animals will shun their violence. That is one of the aphorisms in the Yoga Sutras. And there used to be one yogi and who wrote the commentary on the Yoga Sutras, so Hariharananda. He used to practice in the hills of Barabar hills in Bihar region. So his disciple, Dharma Megha Aranya, a very famous disciple of Hariharananda Aranya, very, very scholarly person, and a yogi of high order. So he requested Hariharananda to write a commentary on the Yoga Sutras. Then Hariharananda told him, no, I am not fit for that. One day he explained why he was not fit for that. He said, because I have not yet tested one of the aphorisms in the Yoga Sutra in practical life. So what is that aphorism? That when someone is ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidho vairatyaga. If someone is established in ahimsa, non-injury, then even wild, ferocious animals will shun their violence in front of that person. So this I have not tested. This is really dangerous one to test. So I can write a commentary, but about this it will be just an imagination. I have not experienced it. So that will be an untruth. So therefore I can't do that. Then they felt very disappointed, but somehow they convinced that teacher that he should write a commentary. Then one day he said, let me go into the forest. And from the record of the municipality, they found that during that time, there used to be so many leopards, so many tigers, so many bears in that region. So Hariharanandaji once went inside the forest, and there he lived in a cave. He planned to live there, and that the front side of the cave, the entry of the cave, used to be protected by hanging a torn cloth. And that was the protection from the wild animals, and he lived inside that. And weekly, twice, his disciples would come there, 2-3 people together, and supply some food for him. And every day he used to go out to take a shower and collect water from a water source, and which used to be visited by many animals because that was the water source for them. So he continued to live there for some time. And these disciples, when they used to visit him, they have seen tigers, bears on their way. So it is quite fine that they too have seen Hariharanandaji. The tigers, animals also observed him. But he never mentioned anything about meeting any tiger or any wild animal. One day he told them, okay, let us go back, now it is done. That means, he did not explain why he said that. That means he must have met with some wild animal face to face, and then it has been proved that they did not attack him. So that is ahimsa pratisthaya. If someone is established in the vow of non-injury, then even the wild, ferocious animals will shun their violence in front of that person. So then he wrote the commentary on that particular, on the Yoga Sutras, and this is a very famous commentary of Hariharananda Aranya. So love is like that. Even wild animals will understand that. This is the tremendous power of love. If I know that you are Brahman and I know I am Brahman, that may not so easily affect you. You will not find it easy to shun all your impurities in the mind like jealousy, hatred, cruelty and anger, etc. But I can see that you are Brahman, but you may not see that I am Brahman. But in this case, when you love, it is so infectious that the person of your love will also understand that you love. So that is why here prema means it is a verb. It goes automatically. And that is why Swami Vivekananda has said that true love, the divine love, has got three criteria. First is that it does not know any fear. It is free from fear. I love you not out of fear. Love cannot be there with fear. No, I love you because I'm not afraid of you. And love without bargain. And here, I love you because it is a verb. I want to love. This is my nature. I cannot but love you. But if there is a bargain, you give me love of 10 lo, I will give you 10 lo. This is not possible. And this is the divine love. And Sri Ramakrishna also quantizes this in a very wonderful way. And the third one is that love for love's sake. I love you because I can't stay without loving. That is my nature. So that these are the three criteria of divine love. And Sri Ramakrishna quantizes this divine love. This is so wonderful that he is letting us know, at least in modern sense, that what would be the quantizing it, what would be the quanta of love that you can imagine of, that would be called the divine love. And he says that the three types of loves are there. Then love number one is as the mother would love the child. Without any expectation, without bargain, without any contractual agreement, but just love. And that is one unit of love, he says. And as the spouses, that the partners would love each other. That is another unit of love. And the third one is as the rank materialist would love his or her asset or property or money. So Vishaya. So now you look at these small three units, how they have been quantized. Number one is the love of the mother. Now see, the baby or child is an extension of mother's body. The blood relation is there. So that love is justified. And it is but natural. In many ways it should be natural because that is an extension of the mother's body. It becomes natural. But still then, the self in the child and the self in the mother, they are same, but they are two different entities. Two different entities because both of them are trying to work out their own way towards realization. Both of them separately. Their mother cannot contribute or affect child's working out, and the child cannot also do the same thing for mother. One has to do it by oneself. There is no vicarious thing that I will do it for you, like in outsourcing. Outsourcing is not possible. So you have to work out your own karma. So there are two jivatman living in two different bodies, in the body of the mother. So when that love is not connected with the divine purpose, then that becomes a worldly love. Then parents will expect things from the children, and children will expect things from the parents. So there would be a transactional psychology affecting this divine relation. At the level of Atman, mother and child, they are non-different, one and the same. At the level of biology, the child is an extension of mother's body. And at the material level, this love is so much contaminated. If we really expect, we don't see the self, then we will expect love. And that is contaminated. That is worldly love. That is called karma. And that affects the relation also. Throughout the history, you will see that when this type of calculation is there between the children and the parents, then that creates a trouble. So, parents won't allow the children to outgrow the necessity of protection. So, I had a nice discussion with one of the professors in Leiden University in Netherlands. We were speaking in the same seminar on the same subject. And aside from that, when I had time, we spoke for a long time about his experience in India and his assessment of Indian system. So he said that he, together with his wife, were in a field study in India for 2 years, and there their first child, baby girl, was born. So next day, bringing the mother and the baby back home, he invited the friends, their Indian friends, to come and bless the child. They all came. They came to bless the child, but they were shocked. Shocked beyond imagination, he is saying. It was very new for him that his friends were shocked, because from the very first day, the baby is put in a separate room. And it has to grow by itself from the very first moment. And the parents had separate room. So that shocked the Indian parents. So he said, I have no right to criticize any of these two cultures, because both have their good points and also merits and demerits. But what is said, that in India, what I can appreciate, that you people have a long childhood. Means you are protected for a long time. Here, from the very first day, I have to face my world, myself. Nobody there with me. But there you have an extended childhood. So what happens, I have seen, over the years, you have learned that whatever be your situation, you are protected. You have a place of protection. You can always go back there. That is such a great assurance for you people. So I have studied that you people do not break down under pressure. You do not break down so easily. But when we face a very catastrophic situation, we break down ourselves. So that is the speciality here. So see, this protection of the parents for the child, that love should be based on a very higher scale, that both are same self, same divinity in both of us. So regard that, do not put it down to the level of bargaining. Then we contaminate that relation. Similarly, between husband and wife, these are two separate bloods. But we get connected because of our mental connection. But we are the self. And there a lot of problems happen because mind is doubtful. Doubt is the very basis of our foundation of our mind. So doubt is always there between these two minds, and one doubts the other, like that. And that then the love is affected. Even if so much love is there, but love is affected, it becomes a material love. Then we quantize it, and then we contaminate it. And the third one is the Vishayi, the person who, and it's his or her property. The property is a lifeless thing, and you find an extension of yourself in that property, and you divinize it. That is still worse. But all these are instances of love. But Sri Ramakrishna is saying that take the intensity, maximum intensity of these three, and then put them together. The three units of these loves put together will make one unit of divine love. And that is, one unit of divine love is really big. You see, this story, there was a joke. The God's unit is really always big. God's time unit is also big. 1 second for God is 1,000 years of human life. So 1,000 human years is 1 second of God. Some calculation like that. Maybe it is still more. I am just reducing for our own good. So 1,000 years of human life is 1 second of God. So one person prayed to God for money. And he was praying, and then God appeared before him and said, "What do you want? Why are you disturbing me so much? I have many other things to do." "No, please God, please give me $10 million. There in Germany we would use euro because that is costlier. So $10 million here, they said. He said, "What? $10 million? What will you do with this so much money?" "Oh God, for you it is just $1. For you it is $1. For me $10 million. So give your $1. Then God said, "Fine, wait a second." Wait a second means what? Wait 1,000 years. So God's unit is really always big. So that is divine love. It is really, really big if you can add all these three intensities together. So love for love's sake. Love because you can't stay without loving. Love for love's sake. Because that is your nature. And that is divine. And then this is the first part of this introduction, that Satu Asmin Parama Prema Rupa, the maximum, you can think of Parama, Prema Rupa, and this is called Prema, not Kama. And the second is part of this, as Narada says, this is so wonderful that Amrita Swarupa Cha, it has to be said, otherwise it is of no importance. You see, there is a story in the life of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna, that Sri Ramakrishna is testing Swami Vivekananda's understanding. And he asks him, suppose you have become a fly, and there is a bowl of nectar. How will you drink up it? Swami Vivekananda, very, very cautious person, intelligent. So he said, I will sit on the brim, and then with stretched neck, drink that nectar. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, why don't you fly and plunge into it? Then he said, then I will die. Sri Ramakrishna laughed and laughed. What stupid idea. He said, I have said this is a bowl of nectar. If you fall into it, you will become immortal. You will not die. That is the idea of knowing our own self. We do not lose ourselves, rather we become immortal. That is the big problem. If I become immortal, then what will happen to my BMW car? or any car here, something. And all the keys and my property, my bank account, etc. What will happen to that if I become immortal? So this is the problem. So, Amrita Swarupacha. Amrita means, this is, as you know, this is translated as nectar, but the real philosophical interpretation of this Amrita is bliss. Amrita Swarupa, eternal bliss, not Rupa. It is not appearing to be Amrita or nectarine, but it is eternal bliss, blissful. You enjoy it. You enjoy it in a different way. What is the different grades of enjoyment? The physical enjoyment is termed in English as pleasure. Pleasure. And then psychological enjoyment is termed as joy. And then spiritual enjoyment is termed as bliss. There is a difference between these three. That mental enjoyment is called joy. Joy is higher than pleasure. Bliss is still higher than joy. Similarly, in the reverse way, joy is inferior to bliss and pleasure is inferior to joy. Now see, pleasure is physical enjoyment. Now, if the bliss is the highest or the maximum of our enjoyment, then we will not opt for pleasure because we will want for the best and the biggest. Now the problem happens, you see, when we sometimes use our body for enjoyment, actually misuse it. And then our mental joy is also gone, and what to speak of spiritual bliss. Suppose someone becomes an alcoholic. Then you lose all your joy there after drinking. And you become a problem for yourself, for others, create trouble for the society, for the family. And suppose you take drugs, then also you become a problem. So you lose your physical joy also, your mental joy also, and your spiritual bliss. So this gradation is there to tell us that we should not use our physical body in such a manner that it will take our mental joy and spiritual bliss. So these things are calculated that way. Therefore, the pleasure pursuits, they actually, yesterday we were talking about the willpower. They actually eat up our willpower, pleasure pursuits. We need willpower to do things. Somebody said that I quit smoking 10 times. That means he has never quit it. Every time he quits, he gets back to it. He has never quit it. Because of what? Because of this lack of willpower. Somebody used to drink a lot, and then every day he would come back. I am saying he because this is the regular habit of men. Drinks and come back home and so much drunk, and every day he would be scolded at home, ridiculed, all these things. Then one day his self-respect told that you should not be that low that every day you come back home and get a bashing at home, and then that is not very interesting. So one day he decided, okay, let me quit drinking. So he came and then saw this is the beer shop or wine shop. Then he closed the eyes and walked long time. And opened the eyes and saw he has come to the cloth store. Then looked back, he has crossed already 3-4 these shops. Then he said, wow, how strong my mind has become. So today, 2 more as a gift to life. So there is another funny story. This is controlling the mind because of the lack of willpower. There used to be 3 brothers. Every day they used to come to the pub and used to drink. 3 bottles, 3 of them would take and drink. One day this man saw, this shopkeeper saw that one brother is sitting there with 3 bottles. Then what happened to the other 2 brothers? Then he came and asked, what happened to your 2 brothers? They are quite fine. They have now moved to other cities. They have got their jobs now confirmed, so they have gone to other cities. But I am drinking 3 bottles, 2 bottles for them. On their behalf I am drinking. 2 and 1 for me. So these 3. Okay, you drink. Then after some days he suddenly saw that only 2 bottles he ordered. Then this shopkeeper thought, this is really, really sad story. So he came forward and said, I am really sad to see this, that you have ordered for 2 bottles. What happened to one of your brothers? Nothing happened to them. They are quite fine. Only thing that I have quit drinking. I have quit. So only 2 bottles. It is on their behalf. So we somehow keep on doing the same thing and try to defend our position. The problem is that lack of willpower is the idea. So if we follow the pleasure pursuit, our ananda or bliss or happiness we try to find in objects which do not have this. If the bliss or joy or pleasure is there in pizza, you eat 1 piece of pizza, you get 10 happiness. Unit of happiness, 10 eating 1 piece of pizza. Then if you eat 2 pieces, then you will get 20 . The more you eat, the more your joy will increase. At one point you will be hospitalized. It will not, because if the joy would be there in the pizza, then more you eat pizza, the more joy will come. No, it is not there in the pizza. So this is the problem. So pleasure pursuit kills our willpower. And therefore, this prema is not a pleasure pursuit, and neither it is a mental thing. It is spiritual one. So that is the definition of this love, divine love. There are 2 types of this divine love in groups they have explained. One is Gauni Bhakti, another is Mukhya Bhakti or Para Bhakti. Gauni Bhakti is what we do for remembering God. Doing puja, doing prayer, doing meditation, all these things are Gauni Bhakti. And Gauni Bhakti is the preparatory stage. Suppose, I will give you a very concrete example. Suppose I am sitting here doing ritualistic puja to God. Now see, if you do that, there are 2 sides of your puja. What is that? If you look at the puja, you will see that whatever you are doing keeping some divine thought, godly thought in the mind. Whatever these mudras you are doing, they are also connected with different nerve centers and then they regulate. But whatever you are doing, your mind and body both are engaged in one work. But if you start meditating, only mind is there. This is not aided by your body. So this mind has got now all liberty to move about in the supermarket. So there is no problem like that. So here when you are doing puja, it is very, very good because, or karma yoga, whatever you are doing, you are both mind and body engaged in one thing. But you separate them, then the problem happens. Now in the puja itself, now see, when I am doing puja, I have to connect my thoughts to divine, to the divine or to God. That I am doing it for God, remembering God. So then I am connected this side. But if I do this, move my hands like that, so people behind will see that this Maharaj does very nice arti. Then I feel boosted and I feel proud of my efficiency. But that is not the purpose that you are doing. I am giving you an example. One of our brahmacharis used to do arati like that and holding this, and almost this wig will fall this side, holding this. I said, you are to show the light to Thakur, but it is showing on your face and to the people here. It is not meant for that. It is meant for seeing God like this, because the image you will see with this light. And you are seeing your face. And the back of this the lamp is towards God. This is not devotion. This is a caricature of devotion. So this, it will not bring about the desired result. You are not connected with God at all. So then only it becomes ritual. Otherwise, it is an act performed for my spiritual practice, as my spiritual practice. So that is why we must be very careful. So Gauni Bhakti means whatever you do, remembering, keeping God in mind. That is called Gauni Bhakti. Bhakti, it is still Bhakti because you are remembering God. So even as we discussed yesterday, that whatever work you do, karma is called yoga because it is connected with God. The result of action is dedicated to God. And we said that the result means it can be both success and failure. This both together is called result. Not that only success is the result. Failure could be also a result, can be a good result also. So here Gauni Bhakti means whatever you do physically, mentally, to remember God, that is called Bhakti, and that is called Gauni Bhakti. Gauni means it is of secondary importance. Secondary importance. But primary importance is remembering God. And that is shown in the lives of the gopis. These are called the Parabhaktis. Lives of gopis, life of Sri Ramakrishna, you will see. In the gopis' life, as Sri Chaitanya Dev has said, that when this stage comes, that when you are completely engaged with God and engrossed in godly thoughts, then what happens, you know? Nasau ramana naham ramani, duhu mano bhava peshal jani. Chaitanya Dev is talking to Raya Ramananda, that time I don't know that God is there and I am the devotee. But I know that both are one and the same. Devo bhutva devam jajit. It says that after divinizing your own self, you worship God. So there is no difference. That is why Sri Ramakrishna said that মাইরি বলছি এর মধ্যে মা ছাড়া আর কিছু নেই. I swear in the name of mother, name of God, would to God, there is nothing but mother in this body. In this body. So there is no devotee, but only mother. So then only this is called Parabhakti. And this is happening in the state of Mahabhava. We will be discussing the Vyasa's ways of divine love, that each one is a bhava. When all those together is combined, they're all combined, then this is called Mahabhava. In the Mahabhava stage, in the gopis' case, we have seen that the gopis are themselves thinking that they are Krishnas. They have become Krishnas because, as Sri Ramakrishna says, that an insect thought of something else and it turned into that. So if you think of that slowly, they say in psychology also it is there. If you start using some words for the sake of fun, afterwards that becomes your habit. You start saying that without meaning any fun. So do not use words even for the sake of fun. So like that. So this type of habit is created. So Sri Ramakrishna says that is what is called Parabhakti. I mean highest type of devotion according to Narada also. That you become one with God. You feel like that there is nothing but God in this, as Ramakrishna says. So this is what is called Parabhakti. And then there are different other explanations also. I will not go into that. I will be talking about Vyasa's ways in the next session. But to conclude this one, I would take up another part that Sri Ramakrishna has defined another thing. As we have said that Satu Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. Asmin means in this God. Our complete love to this God. Sri Ramakrishna defined this God. And Sri Ramakrishna said this God can be called Allah, can be called Son of God, can be called the Father in heaven, can be called Rama, can be called Krishna, can be called by any name, but it is one and the same. The problem is that if you say that we are monotheistic people, we love God as a single authority for everyone, the problem is that the Christian God created 3% of this universe, another God created another 33%, another God created three types of monotheistic gods are there. There is Jehovah is there is Allah, there is Father in heaven. So then these three together created this world according to monotheistic ideal. Then this is called pantheism. There are three gods together, and they are the highest gods. In Hinduism, we too have got three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, but they have three different duties. That is why they are called the three different aspects of God. So the idea that Hinduism is pantheistic, this is not correct. In Hinduism, we do not say that this particular section of people has been created by this God or my God is the only God. This is a problematic situation for you also. But in Hinduism, we don't say that there are so many gods. We say that same God is manifesting in so many different ways. In Germany, we have a God, G-O-D, God. That is called Government of Deutschland. G-O-D. Now, when I am applying for something in my local municipality, then the municipal commissioner, he writes, name Snyder, and below there is a sealed God, Government of Deutschland. Even till the president of Germany will also sign God. So it is like that, and different duties. They have got Schutzengel. Here also you must be having that. Protective angels. These are gods with small g, written with small g. Hinduism do have so many gods, but with small g, with different functions. Indra is the god for giving rains in Houston area, and then Agni is god for giving fire in Los Angeles area. So all these things, the gods are there. Fire god, Agni, water god, Indra. So all this. So these are not the main God we are talking about. Ishvara, that is G capital O-D God. So this is called panentheism, not pantheism, panentheism. That where these are all different manifestations of the same God. So therefore no question of this one God theory. So then another part I would discuss that whether the concept of guru is important in Bhakti Yoga. It is very important in Jnana Yoga case we discussed because there is no question about learning things without a guru. And in this worldly things also you will see for any trade you need a teacher, guide or guru or anybody, whatever you may say. So there in the path of bhakti, all the dualistic schools, including these monotheistic schools also, they are bhaktas, bhakti, they follow the path of devotion in their own way. You see, in the Bible it is said that those who are entitled to reach the kingdom of heaven, they should be anointed, they should be reborn by water and reborn of water and of the Spirit. And of the Spirit. Reborn of water means they had been anointed and initiated by water. As you know, this water for initiation, they will go into the river and give water and initiate. So this is the tradition. So that is the Guru. And also be born in of the spirit. Also God. God and Guru, these two are main things in Bhakti Yoga. There in all these schools, they will accept this one. So this, if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you should be reborn of water and of the spirit. So there is a funny story about entering the kingdom of heaven. So in the heaven they have got also the doors. Jesus says that wide is the gate that leads to destruction, but narrow is the gate that leads to eternal life. And you will find that many people walking through that big door. Company has increased the size of the gate because too much demand for destruction. The Bible says that company. So because many people walking through that, that is why they increase the size of the gate and they are leading to destruction. But narrow is the door or gate to God. That will lead to complete eternal freedom. And that is narrow because very few people walk that way. So when you are entering the heaven, there is also a gate. And that gate is being guarded by Peter. Saint Peter is guarding that gate. This is the tradition in Catholic, in Christianity. So one fellow died of an accident and came running. John died, and then he came there and appeared before Peter. Then Peter said, "Oh, you have come." I said, "Okay. Just spell John." That's John. Come in. Because he is literate, he could spell the word John. So come in. And said, "You see, it is already lunch time. So you wait here, let me go and finish my lunch. In 20 minutes time, I will come back. And you guard this gate now on my behalf. And when someone comes, you just ask him this simple question like that, spell Peter. Then if that person spells, you just come in." He said, "Okay." Then he stayed there, and then this Peter went for lunch. Then he saw suddenly his wife came. He said, "What happened to you?" "No, when you died of the accident, and I rushed to that spot, and I also met with the accident, and I died. So I have come here." Then he said, "Please spell Czechoslovakia." So the doors are guarded. So not that everyone is entitled to enter that. Those who are anointed with water or of the Spirit, they will be allowed to enter. Not that everybody has a pass for that. So this is by way of general introduction to what bhakti is, and according to Sri Ramakrishna and Narada, we will be taking up in the next session the ways of devotion as elaborated by Vyasa in the Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. If you have any question. Sit down.
I do, actually.
Swamiji, thank you for the wonderful talk. Can you tell us about meditation? Sorry, tomorrow. I know tomorrow is the big lecture on meditation, but what is the connection between meditation and attaining bliss?
Yes. If you would be attending tomorrow, that would be nice, because I don't want to disclose the secret today itself. Don't want to disclose the secret today itself. Seamless means there is no boundary between when you close the eyes and when you open the eyes. Both are meditation. So that is the idea in the scriptures. And that we'll be discussing tomorrow. No more of the disclosure of the secret. Thank you very much. Right. You will find tomorrow. They will be uploading perhaps. Okay. Okay. Very good. So then we'll break. Oh, okay.
I talked so much about samadhi yesterday, and you kind of touched on the like the savikalpa, nirvikalpa, savichara. Can you quickly give us definitions of the things?
Okay, the definition is very difficult because they are different stages of samadhi. Savikalpa, nirvikalpa means vikalpa means there are alternatives with alternatives. That is grows on object of meditation, alternatives. Savikalpa, nirvikalpa, where there are no more alternatives. Savichara, nirvichara, there is no more. Vichara means understanding differences between the objects. And then sasmita samadhi. Asmita means ego. There, the ego is divinized, so sasmita samadhi. Sananda samadhi, this is the sixth one, where only the experience of joy is the object. Actually, that is the idea of all our meditation. When we are meditating on the image of Sri Ramakrishna, it is not the figure that is important, but slowly everything will merge into the ideal for which Sri Ramakrishna stood. And the meaning of the mantra of that deity will be the object of meditation. And that will reflect ananda. Ananda means the bliss aspect. You will feel always happy to be there, to be in that meditation. So these are the six. And then when you do not think that you are meditating on something, but that meditation removes the differentiation between the meditator and the object of meditation, that is called savikalpa samadhi. And that becomes nirvikalpa, that the sense that you are meditating, that is also not there. So this is in short, in a very gross way, these are the differentiation. The seventh. So savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara, nirvichara, sananda, sasmita, and nirvikalpa samadhi, but these are two stages in that, savikalpa, and this is the seventh one. Seventh planes of samadhi. And the Yoga Sutra is so generous to call each one a samadhi, but the first one is nothing but meditation. It is not a samadhi, but they are all called meditation because it's a path of meditation. I am driving from here to Austin, so the whole way is even a lot of the stretch I have to go through Houston, but this is called Austin Yatra. So we are going to Austin travel, even when you are in Houston. So here, Vyasa is quite, or Yoga Sutra is quite liberal to include all these as samadhi. Not only the nirvikalpa samadhi, but all these lower stages, they are called samadhi. 10%, 20%, percentage-wise. So that is the speciality of this. That is why in the Yoga Sutra, the second aphorism is Yoga chitta vritti nirodhaha. But here, Patanjali does not say sarva chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga means cessation of the modifications of the minds, vrittis, cessation, they will stop. Not all vritti is stopping, that is nirvikalpa samadhi. So samadhi, yoga means samadhi, samadhi means that chitta vritti nirodha, not sarva chitta vritti nirodha, not all. Therefore, even the lowest, on the lowest rung of samadhi, you are in samadhi. This is the speciality of this idea.
No, I just want to make some announcements if everything is over.